Okay, again, this is on eviction guidelines. This came across from Shedder, our attorney. I'm going to just go through this, probably just read it. If I have any type of input that I can give you, I will. A lot of this is just standard practice. But what do I need these days to get a demand filed? Demand notice should have all the information filled out. Check the date of service in the return of service section. That is the number one things clients forget. This is something that you're going to want to look through before doing anything. You want to just brief yourself with these videos and look at this paperwork that I've sent you. So, statements that the statutory mediation advisement was served. If it's not included in the return of service section, a separate return of service page for this is required. If the demand notice was served after June 6th of 2023, this must be served at the same time as the demand notice. Mediation advisement, government assistance affidavit form. Tenant's full address needs to be listed in number 1, and box in number 3 needs to be checked. It needs to be signed and dated. Typically, this will be signed and dated around the expiration of the demand or right before it's sent to the firm to file. This does not have to be the same date the demand was served. The CARES affidavit. We will notify you if we don't have one on file or if we need a newer one. It's required to file all rent demands, and it's required for all demands notices in El Paso County. We don't really work in El Paso County here around Denver, but that's just, again, that's just another different rule that they have for different counties. A statement that the Denver tenant rights and resource packet was served. So for Denver County properties only, and it's really important to know what county this property is in. It's on the lease, and if you have questions, you can go into public records through the MLS or through the assessor's office online. But if it's not included in the return of service section, a separate return of service page for this is required. This must be served at the same time as the demand notice. When do I send Shedder my demands to be filed? Demands do not have to be sent to the firm by a specific deadline anymore. When you are ready to file, send the rent demands to one of the eviction staff members. Clients can choose which eviction staff member to send their rent demands to. Only send the eviction staff demands you are ready to file on. We do not hold them. And really what that means is they're going to charge us to get the posting done because we have to request that. And so so if you're in the middle of negotiations with that tenant, you don't want to start this process. You want to because then they may file in the process too. They may file the legal papers, and then that's another, I think, $250 right now. So then all of a sudden, even if they pay, now they've got all of that extra expense, and that sucks for the tenant for sure. Okay, next, who do I send my demands to? Okay, well there's the information there. That will always have the updated list of who you can email your demands to. Staff changes, so you use this link so you know who to email. Take the guessing out of who to contact for what. So it's important that you look at this form, and again, I'm going to give everybody a packet with this information. It's generally going to be in the tenant package. We have an owner's package and a tenant package. Turnaround time. The eviction staff processes demands generally in about 3 to 4 business days after receipt. If your demands are forwarded to a staff member by an attorney, by a situation staff member, or by it still takes 3 to 4 business days after the eviction staff member receives it. Okay. Now it says, I emailed or faxed my demand to a specific eviction staff member. Now what? Well, the eviction staff member will email you to let you know if they processed your demands or if they need anything additional in order to process your demands. If the case hasn't been filed yet, for example, it's not on your client portal, and you need to cancel, email the person you sent your demands to and put cancel in the subject line so it's flagged for the staff member. Again, that's important to catch so we don't get the charges. What could cause delays in getting my demands processed? Well, sending rent demands to multiple people or departments, sending demands that are not expired. What does that mean? It means the time frame of the demand is still within the 10-day or 30-day period. The date of service does not count towards that time frame. Following up about the status of your demands, if it hasn't been 5 business days since you sent them, sending demands that are not completed or missing required documents, sending documents we didn't request. What does this mean? If staff asks you for a subsequent document for tenant X, don't also send me documents for tenant W, Z, and Y. Not replying directly to an email the staff sends you. Okay, let's go to the next one. I received an email that states my demands were processed. Now what? Well, this means your demands are in line to be filed with the court. Demands are filed on a first come, first served basis. If a court date fills up, your case will be filed for the next available court date. You can check the client portal or wait for the filing report to see the court date. Now, updating your case after it's filed, aka on your client portal. If the case has been filed, then the best way to update us is through the client portal. There's the information. That's a great place to email your reports to if you can't use the client portal. I received the filing report and it says I need to upload relevant documents. Well, lease ledger and most recent demand, maybe additional supporting documents depending on the type of case. Where's the barcode on the filing report? Between the address and county sections, it's a barcode number. Today was my tenant's court date. Why haven't I heard from anyone with my results? Well, court results will be provided once entered into the case. It can take anywhere from 3 to 15 days for this to happen. If you don't see a result in the case on the portal, it's because it hasn't entered yet. What do the options on the result report mean? Sheriff, send the writ of restitution to the sheriff's office. A writ hold on the writ of restitution. I don't know if I need the sheriff's physical eviction yet. Paid in full, the tenant has paid all rent, legal, other fees due, and has a zero balance. Partial payment, the tenant paid you some money, but they still owe money. Now, with partial payments, that's something you really need to have the owner authorize in writing if you're ever going to do that, because that will delay everything. And the owner needs to know that as well if they have to restart the process. Move date means your tenant moved out, and the date is for the date they moved out, and you took possession. Now, when you take possession, that's when they've allowed you to take possession, the tenant, and has given you notice to vacate and turned over the keys. How do I communicate how I want to proceed after getting court results? Well, the best way to do that is the client portal, and you can update your case in the client portal or email the report with the selection circled office at thslawfirm.com. All right, so that's it for that, and thanks for listening.